Hello, hi, and welcome back. Today is one of them days. Well, I'm not wearing a band-aid, but it sure hurts like everything. I'll dry it out and let it dry out without anything. But today I'm right here doing everybody's favorite thing. I'm playing Sandpaper Solitary, and I've got a deck. Well, there's not 51, but there's a bunch of them. Now, they've been hardened, homoned, and hardened, and they've been, excuse me, they've been through one temper cycle. So I'm going to clean them up. And that's what I'm doing. It's going to clean them up. And when I get them all clean, get all grease and everything off of them and down, I'll sand them off pretty slick, hand sand them. And then when I get about, I don't know, I got about 50, I think there's about 50 of them ready, 40 or 50 of them. Plus the ones that I hadn't got ground yet, which is going to be around 30 more, something like that. And then I'll get it, and then I'll get right on it. I mean, I'll get the liquid nitrogen, then I could put them all in there. And what research I've done with it says, if you're going to use it on carbon steel to harden them and do one cycle of tempering, then your next cycle after you let them set in the liquid nitrogen. I got a 6-liter doer, and I've got one of them styrofoam coolers. It's about that thick. My son got me some Omaha steaks and it's a real thick cooler, and just a couple of boxes of steaks and whatever else. And I've not touched it all yet. So, but anyway, that was sent with dry ice in it so that it would, stay frozen. And it arrived. It's fully frozen in perfect order. And so I put it in this freezer right here that's set for 20 below zero. And there was still a good chunk of dry ice left, so I just put it in there with it. And come to check on it, it was gone. It just, -20 is not enough to hold it. Not for long anyway. Now if I'd had a lot more like they do at the grocery stores and stuff where you buy the dry ice, then they put a blanket on top of it. And I don't know what their freezers is capable of, but that stuff's 109 degrees below zero. Liquid nitrogen, I believe, is 328 degrees. I may be wrong on that, but that's about what I think it is. And so then after you let them soak in that for about 8 to 12 hours, and what I'm going to do is I've got a few mice around in the out there in my hay storage, out there where I go get loaf bread every once in a while for the goats. There's some mice out there, so I will put that in there and let it sublimate off. And I think, if memory serves pretty good, that it's 700 to 1 on oxygen displacement for every ounce of liquid nitrogen that sublimates off. It moves 700 inches or square inches of oxygen out of the way. And you can't live on just pure nitrogen. The lower you go in the ocean, I know they put more nitrogen and helium and all kinds of stuff in there. because I don't remember what happens if you just go down with oxygen. I'm not a diver, so I don't know, but I do know that they mix the oxygen and everything. And the reason I know that is because I'm old, and I'm old enough to remember Jacques Cousteau, that he come on, I think it was on Sundays, and where he was exploring the oceans. He was French, by the way, so if you didn't know that, and I'm sure there's probably people out there that knew that as soon as I said Jacques Cousteau. And I miss them days. I really do. I only had 3 channels, and the shoe to the side of the head was a TV remote. Yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I had that done to me. So anyway, so like I said, with that, I just started this. I've been doing odds and ends. I built myself a metal etcher, like a personalizer. It'll do AC and DC both, and I've played with it a little bit on a piece of metal. Then I sanded it. I didn't sand this down too good or anything to start with. But what happens is you start out with DC, or you put it on AC, you mark it, and you see where it's at and make sure that it's where you want it, because you can just about wipe it off if you only do it for just a few seconds on AC, because it'll turn it black right there where the stencil is, and you can see, make sure you ain't got it crooked and all this other stuff. And when you get it situated the way you want it, then you just take your light sandpaper and just buff that off, and then you can do with your DC to etch it deep, then put your AC back on it, and it'll turn it black on the inside. Now, I don't know if mine's powerful enough to do it. I hadn't tried it more than probably 30-40 seconds at a time, and I think that's what that was. I think I done it a couple of times at that. If I'd have done it a couple of times at 2 to 3 minutes like I did with the other one, it would probably went a whole lot deeper. And I may have to change the electrode on the bottom from brass and go to copper. Don't know if I will or not, but this the electrolyte leaves it in the copper too. It turns them black and puts a layer on them. And you have to sand it off for the next time that you do it, or wipe it off, and then you'll still have to sand a little bit, or I did anyway. So, but right now I am hand sanding on a neck knife. Right there. I've got, where's that? I've got one. There it is. Yeah, it needs to be buffed a little bit more, or it's not been sharpened or anything like that. But here's a little neck knife. So right there, I polished up the hamon on this, and just to see what I could do with it. It looks ripply and everything. I mean, you can't feel it, but you look at it and looks like it's, maybe there's a little spot right there, but other than that, it's beautiful. Now I didn't mark this with the new one, the new personalizer I just built, electro etching machine, but the rest of them will be, if nothing happens. So anyway, I just thought I'd come in and give you a short video of what I'm doing. I've got sandpaper everywhere. Now I've got plenty of for the cheese, for these little neck knives. I've cut several different colors out, and I'll just use this orange for that. And I got different color scales. These are just fiberglass pieces, and this will be in here about that deep. And once it's in there about that deep, then I'll be able to grind it down and fix it, because the lock will be right here on the end of it, right there. So that's what keeps them from coming out, is where they almost touch, where the Kydex almost touches. That's the reason you get scratches on it from taking it in and out of the Kydex case. But like I said, this is going to be around your neck. The blade is longer than the handle, but it's a 3-finger grip, and if you got smaller hands, it'd be a full 3-finger. Mine's about 2.5. And put the thumb on it up here, and you can do anything you want to with this. I mean anything. It's 1095. Like I said, it's been differentially heat treated, and I polished it up after I put it in the ferric chloride. I do that. The main reason ferric, I like the fact that ferric will bring out the ammonia and everything. Is also what it will do is it will get inside, and if you look close enough, you can see if there's any cracks in it, because it'll show up as a line, especially if you just buff it just a little bit. When you're cleaning it with the steel wool after it comes out, you can see if there's a little crack in it or a line or something like that. And it's not a Magnaflux, but it works pretty darn good. And so I have made a few knives that I didn't put in the ferric, and I had one of them break the tip off, and it looked like the grain was as big as sand, beach sand in it, and I have no idea why, but it did. The rest of the knife was good, but about there out was bad. So well, anyway, I just thought I'd get in on you and just show you what I was up to. June is fast approaching, and March here is turning into a lion. Wind's blowing. Well, I seen a Clorox jug go bouncing by, one of them old glass ones. It looked like it had a 15-pound rooster in it. So it's been windy, and I mean bad windy. Well, so I'm gonna let you go, and I can't hardly handstand without the radio on, and YouTube frowns upon the radio, and I frown upon this handstanding without the radio a bunch. At least I can listen to radio and it's tolerable, but I've got it to play because I'm gonna go play, and I've paid to play, so I gotta have something to play with, so I might as well get on it. Nothing to do it but to get on it and do it. So till next time, I suppose she'll sing. God bless.